Hello students, I am Pitambar Gadve. In previous lecture, we studied mechanism of natural convection, that means how natural convection occurs and how motion of a fluid takes place when it comes in contact with a hot surface as well as cold surface. Now in this lecture, we will see physical significance of dimensionless numbers used in a natural convection. So let us discuss first dimensionless number is Greshov's number. Greshov's number. It is denoted by GR. GR is for Greshov's number, and we can say this Greshov number is the ratio of product of inertia force into buoyancy force upon viscous force. So let us note down, it is the ratio of product of inertia force and buoyancy force to the viscous force. So Greshov number GR is nothing but inertia force into buoyancy force upon viscous force, square of a viscous force. Okay, and we know inertia force is related to velocity. Due to velocity we have inertia. Then buoyancy force is nothing but force acted by the fluid in a upward direction on the solid surface, and viscous force is related to the viscosity. So GR is given by, we have inertia force is given by rho density into velocity square into buoyancy force is calculated by using one formula which is rho g beta delta t LC cube. LC is characteristics length divided by viscous force is given by mu v square. So as we seen, inertia force is related to velocity, buoyancy force is exerted by the fluid on the surface, and viscous force is related to viscosity. So rearrange this equation. As we rearrange this equation, this velocity square gets cancelled. So when we rearrange this, we get rho square g beta delta t LC cube upon mu square, and we know kinematic viscosity nu is equal to mu by rho. So when we transfer this rho square to denominator, we get mu square upon rho square, that is mu by rho bracket square. So this is nothing but nu. So we can write GR is equal to G beta delta T LC cube upon mu square by rho square. Therefore GR is equal to G beta delta T LC cube upon nu square. So this is formula for Greshov number. Or we can determine value of Greshov number by G beta delta T LC cube upon nu square. So this explains the physical significance of this Greshov number. So let us discuss what is the physical significance of this Greshov number. So this Greshov number plays a role of Reynolds number, which we already studied in force convection. So Reynolds number in force convection determines whether the flow is laminar or flow is turbulent. So here in case of natural convection, natural convection, the Grashof number gives us whether the flow is turbulent or laminar or turbulent. It is given by a Grashof number. So when the value of Grashof number is less, that means flow is laminar. When the value of Grashof number is less, then we call the flow as a laminar flow, and when Grashof number value is greater, then we can say this fluid flow is turbulent. So it depends, as well as it depends on the various geometries, various geometrical features of the system also. This is all about physical significance of Grashof number. Now let us discuss another dimensionless number, which is Rayleigh's number. Rayleigh's number, it is denoted by RA. Rayleigh's number is denoted by RA, and this Rayleigh's number is nothing but, Rayleigh's number is given by, it is the product of Grashof's number and Prandtl number. It is product of Grashof number and Prandtl number, and we know this Grashof number gives us whether the flow is laminar or turbulent, and Prandtl number we already studied in force convection. This Prandtl number gives us relation between velocity boundary layer and thermal boundary layer, or momentum diffusion and thermal diffusion. It gives relation between momentum diffusion and thermal diffusion. It is given by the Prandtl number. So Rayleigh's number is nothing but, Rayleigh's number RA is nothing but GR into PR. So Rayleigh's number is nothing but product of Grashof number and Prandtl number. Now let us discuss about two important terms. First term is thermal expansion coefficient. These two terms are very important to solve numerical based on this natural convection. So let us discuss first term, thermal expansion coefficient. Thermal expansion coefficient. Thermal expansion coefficient, it is denoted by beta. Thermal expansion coefficient. So it is defined as the fraction of increase in a volume per unit change in a temperature. So thermal expansion coefficient is defined as the fraction of increase in a temperature, increase in a volume, fraction of increase in a volume of a molecule or volume of a fluid per degree increase in a temperature, per degree change in a increase in a temperature of a fluid. So as we know, as we study in case of mechanism of natural convection, we know when the temperature increases, temperature of a molecule increases, it expands and its specific volume goes on increasing. And this is given by the term thermal expansion coefficient, that is nothing but fraction of increase in a volume per degree change in its temperature. So this is given by beta is equal to change in volume per unit temperature at constant pressure to the total volume of that fluid, So we can write here at constant pressure P, at constant pressure P. But for ideal gases, for ideal gases, this thermal expansion coefficient is given by beta is equal to 1 upon TMF. So here, while solving numerical on natural convection, we have to consider all fluid or all gases as a ideal gases, and for that we have thermal expansion coefficient is equal to 1 upon TMF, 1 upon mean fluid temperature. So here term is mean fluid temperature, next term is this main fluid temperature. So what is mean by mean fluid temperature? Mean fluid temperature TMF. What is mean by mean fluid temperature? TMF. And this is nothing but average of a surface temperature of object to the surrounding fluid temperature. So mean fluid temperature TMF is given by surface temperature plus surrounding temperature upon 2. So we can say mean fluid temperature is nothing but average of a surface temperature and surrounding temperature. Now we will discuss empirical correlations used in natural convection. So let us discuss empirical correlations. Empirical correlations used in a natural convection. So here table shows the various empirical correlations used in a natural convection. So in this table the first is geometry. So natural convection depends on the geometry, orientation of a geometry. So geometry, then what are the different correlations used for that particular geometry is given in a second column, and the restriction means what is the value on which we have to use the correlations, what is the value of Grashof number or Rayleigh's number, depend on that value we have to use different correlations, and important term is characteristic length. So here in this table we will focus on this first column, this column, that is geometry, and we have to focus on a characteristic dimension. Characteristic dimension means shortest distance between two temperatures, maximum and minimum temperature. So let us discuss the first point. Geometry is when the vertical plate or vertical cylinder is there. When plate is vertical or a cylinder is vertical, then we have to use this correlation, Nusselt number correlations. We call it as a Nusselt number correlation. Nu is equal to 0.56 into bracket GRP raised to 1 by 4, and range is given 10 raised to 4 to 10 raised to 8. Means when GRPR is nothing but Rayleigh's number, when Rayleigh's number is in between 10 raised to 4 to 10 raised to 8, we have to use Nusselt number is equal to 0.56 into GRPR raised to 1 by 4. This correlation we have to use. Okay. And important is when plate is vertical or vertical cylinder is given, then characteristic length is its vertical length. Okay, so its characteristic length is vertical length. Then second, if horizontal cylinder is given, let us first discuss. Suppose this is a vertical plate. Okay, this is a vertical plate. This plate is vertical. Its dimension is, let us consider, this is H and this is W. Then for this plate, characteristics length LC is equal to its vertical length. So this length is its characteristic length. So characteristic length is H. Or when we consider a cylinder is vertical. Let us consider this is cylinder and this is length of a cylinder. Then for first case, when cylinder is vertical, its characteristic length LC is equal to its height, or L, its length. Okay. Now second case, if cylinder is horizontal, let us consider this is a horizontal cylinder. In many example we have horizontal cylinder like pipe. Okay. Pipe, fluid is flowing through the pipe or fluid is flowing over the pipe, then this is a horizontal cylinder. And for this horizontal cylinder, let us consider this is D is the diameter of a horizontal cylinder, and in that for horizontal cylinder diameter of a cylinder is a characteristic dimension. So here characteristic length is equal to its diameter. Let us discuss third case now. Horizontal plate facing upward. When plate is horizontal and it is facing upward, so let us consider, suppose this is a circular disc or circular plate, okay, and one surface of this plate is insulated. Suppose this surface is insulated, that means heat, as bottom surface of that plate is insulated, so this plate is facing in a upward direction, so heat transfer from this direction is in a upward direction, so we call it as a horizontal plate facing up. Horizontal plate facing up, and for that we have characteristic length LC is equal to surface area upon its perimeter. Surface area of that plate into perimeter. Now let us consider the diameter of a plate is D. Diameter of a plate is D, and we know surface area for circular plate is equal to pi by 4 D square upon perimeter is pi D. So that is equal to, this pi gets cancelled, one diameter gets cancelled, so characteristics remains D by 4. Then fourth number is horizontal plate facing downward. So similar diagram we have similar plate, and but here the horizontal top surface is insulated, so that heat transfer takes place in a downward direction Q. And let us consider its diameter is also D. So for this case also characteristics length is equal to, characteristics length LC is equal to area, surface area upon perimeter, and same surface area pi by 4 D square upon perimeter is pi D, so it is D by 4. Now fifth geometry is sphere. Fifth geometry is sphere. So for sphere we have, let us consider this is a sphere with diameter D. So characteristics length for this sphere also given, characteristic length is equal to its diameter. Okay, so we have here inclined plate facing down and inclined plate facing up. For that also we have to take length of a plate as a characteristics length. So number 6 inclined plate. Okay, so let us consider this is a inclined plate, okay, and bottom surface is insulated, so it is facing upward direction, so its characteristics length LC is equal to length of a plate. Suppose this is a length of a plate, so LC is equal to L. And for inclined plate facing downward we have same characteristics length, that is length of a plate. Thank you.